go. Hello, world. Hi, YouTube. Hi, peoples from the elements. Everybody's doing okay this morning. Um, I had a pretty good sleep. I have to say, I woke up like 5, but I did sleep like a good 6 hours, and then got up again and then fell asleep again till about 8. So that's pretty amazing. Today, I think we have a couple more people joining. We're waiting.
Isabella just logged in, waiting on Emily Gold, who's in Italy.
Emily Gold is in Italy. Wow, we have one of our members from last year. Her husband's in the military, so that she was sent to, or they were sent to Italy. So it'd be nice to see her face today. I'm going to talk a little bit about before we go on to our meditation. And I keep coming back into this compassionate life, and this is from the Dalai Lama. And a little bit more. I love how he speaks from science, and then he brings it back again into the Buddhist perspective. And he talks about how we, as humans, our brains are wired for or biased for negativity, and that's an important part because that bias for negativity allows us to survive. Um, through millions of years that we've been inhabiting the planet, from all the species, we're looking for danger, and the reptilian part of our brain is just wired the same way. And so, um, when if we are wired for that negativity, therefore, what we tend to see in the media tends to reflect a lot of that negative bias and a lot of the what's being edited or what is editorials. And sometimes we don't see like the majority of the planet is actually working from a level of compassion and love. And so I'm going to read a little bit about this. So he writes, our fundamental nature. Some of my friends have told me that while love and compassion are marvelous and good, they are not really very relevant. Our world, they say, is not a place where such virtues have much influence or power. They claim that anger and hatred are so much a part of human nature that humanity will always be dominated by them. I do not agree. We humans have existed in our present form for about 100,000 years. I believe that if during this time the human mind had been primarily controlled by anger and hatred, our population would have decreased. But today, despite what's going on in the world, we find that the human population is greater than ever. And this clearly indicates to me that while anger and aggression are usually present, love and compassion predominate in the world. And this is why what we call news is composed of mostly unpleasant and tragic events. Compassionate activities are so much part of daily life that they are taken for granted and therefore are largely ignored. What is beautiful about, as I'm focusing my attention in this feeling of compassion and love, to bring a little bit of equanimity from the fear side. I notice on social media there is such a great response to that same aspect, and so I see people encouraging others to help, and that to me is such a wonderful thing that as humans we see somebody helping, and our mirror neurons are responding just the same way. And so the work that you're doing here, daily showing up and being on your mats, it's an essential part of that trainable skill to come back into the feeling of compassion and love. So I'm hoping everybody's here.
We're missing one person, and I just need to check one thing real quick.
All right, Kendall's checking on one thing, and then we'll get started. We're gonna meditate on a very simple breathing tool, and this is just box breathing. And so the way it works is you inhale for typically 4 to 6 counts, and then across hover at the top of the breath for 4 to 6 counts. Exhale the breath for the same length, and then across at the bottom of the exhale. And this is a tool that's used for, when you're in line at the grocery store right now, when you are um, skimming through news and find yourself being kind of put out into that alert space. Use that breath and come back to, again, connecting to the feelings of love and gratitude. So we're going to start by sitting up tall and close your eyes, relax the shoulder blades on your back. Maybe do a shoulder roll if you feel you're tight. Give yourself a moment to feel. Interlace the fingers behind your low back and draw the knuckles down so you feel your heart space open. Just a little bit of movement. Shifting the gaze up. And then bringing the gaze forward. Now interlace the fingers in front of you. And as you pull the knuckles forward, try to pull the shoulder blades away from each other. We're trying to create space for breath. Come back to center, bring the hand down to the thigh, the left palm to the back of your neck, and just lift the elbow up and away, maybe shifting the gaze a little bit high. And onto the other side, left palm on the thigh, right palm on your neck, and just very gently nudge or guide the neck open as you shift the gaze up. And now return back onto center, relax the palms by your sides. You can place them on your lap. With your eyes closed, the gaze comes down to the nose or onto the space between your eyebrows. Connect to the current rhythm of your breath. Noticing how long it takes you to inhale and how long it takes you to exhale. And into your heart space, in comes someone that supports you in this very moment in time, where you feel love and compassion and gratitude towards. Let's exhale the breath. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Hold. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Continue at your own pace. Return to the anchor when you get distracted. Sit up a bit taller. Reclaim the seed of awareness. reconnect to your breath. Let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. As you move about your day, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you feel compassion and love for yourself and for others. And may you walk through this earth with ease. Namaste. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Does anybody have any questions about the technique or anything that happened while you were meditating? Ideas or like visions or things that might have been propped up? In my meditation, sometimes at the beginning it's very hard to quiet the mind. And as the time progresses, sustaining the anchor of breath, over time, I experienced a little bit of like flashes of light behind my eyelids, and so then that, along with the breath, becomes my way I'm concentrating. So there's a visual component. Sometimes, like the flash, just kind of moves around behind the eyelids, and sometimes kind of shaped into a shape of a wormhole, and kind of like what you would see in Star Wars, right? During like light speed, everything just kind of passes really, really fast. And so, and that's when I get to that place, that's when I feel most concentrated, and I can feel how my mind begins to shift from that wavelength of thought into the wavelength of being, and more conscious feel to my mind. I hope this helps you. And if you have thoughts or anything, just feel free to chime in whenever. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you. Bye, guys. See you soon.